Welcome, Team Rhino. Happy Cinco de Rhino. We're almost to the end of a great day. I can't believe it either. We've had a wonderful day of activities. We hope you are having fun celebrating rhinos and the people that protect them. There's still time to contribute emergency funding for the people and organizations who are protecting rhinos during the crisis. Funds will be used to support salaries and health and safety needs for the dedicated men and women who continue to ensure that rhinos and other endangered species will survive. Your gift will be matched today still at our website at rhinos.org or on Facebook as well. It's still May 5th here, but it's already the next day in Indonesia. Joining me is Inov, IRF's Indonesian coordinator. Good morning, Inov.
Good evening, Chris. Hi,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thanks, Inov, for joining us for this final talk of Cinco de Rhino. We're happy to have you, and I know everybody is anxious to hear about the rhinos in Indonesia. So how is COVID-19 impacting Indonesia?
Well, it's almost the same with all the country around the world. The COVID-19 pandemic has had a significant impact for all our life. The economic is down, and then we have like probably some country they have like a lockdown. In Indonesia, we call the large scale social restriction. So I can say this called that local lockdown. And then nowadays the positive case of the COVID-19 more than 12,000. Only so far there's a recovery, there's 2,000 people, and then the close to 900. Actually, there's 872 people killed because of the COVID-19. Yes, I believe that this is significant impact for whole life for us, for all the people, for the economy, the family, job. So many people lost job right now because the COVID-19.
Well,
I think it's
let
almost
me
the same in America, right?
let me say, our thoughts and are with the people of Indonesia and the people around the world that are dealing with COVID-19. So hang in there, everybody. We'll get through this. And thank you so much for sharing that update. Are the Rhino Protection Units still in effect? Are they still operating in Indonesia?
Yeah, so fortunately, this our Rhino Protection Unit. We get a permission from the government of Indonesia. As you know, the Rhino Protection Unit that we have collaborate with the Yayasan Badak Indonesia, the local NGO in Indonesia. We are very close with them. That we get the permission to do the regular patrol and monitoring in the field. So overall, the condition of the pandemic COVID-19 is not affect significantly for our patrol. However, that our ranger and our Rhino Protection Unit now they use the new SOP or protocol to precaution of the COVID-19. For example, they have to do the face mask and then the physical distancing, and then and wash hand. All the ranger they have to check the healthy, or if they feel sick they have to stop, and then they have to report to the coordinator before going to the field. Yes, this is we have tried to make the new regulation to precaution with the COVID-19 for all of the staff in the field as well.
It's when we think about how difficult it must be for those rangers, when you in the audience think about putting on a mask to go out to the store or whatever, the ranger teams are wearing those masks in high heat, high humidity.
It is it's a very difficult. They have to wear the mask. Then while they have to walk, probably, can you imagine? They have to walk the 15 days in the field, and then per day they have to walk. Let's say that the maximum 8 hour or 7 hour. They have to carry the carry the logistic 20 kilo or more or less the 40 pounds a day, and they have to wearing the mask. And then now they have the new SOP or something like. I think this is quite difficult for them as well, but they have to.
Yeah, we can't say it enough. We're trying to do this all day, but we appreciate the rangers that are working hard during this time and at all times to protect rhinos in the field. Is there an increased possibility of poaching at this time?
Well, this, like I said, is fortunately we have the Rhino Protection Unit that regular patrol and monitoring. Some cases we found, like last month, one group of the poachers, the big poacher with carry the big gun, like military gun, arrested by the RPU. And then in another area in Ujung Kulon, there was like a big fishing boat enter the national park, and luckily, fortunately, we have the new marine patrol, the RPU marine patrol, and then they can succeed to 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 stop and then arrest them. I think that I believe with this condition, some group, some people will use the opportunity. Probably they thought that during the COVID-19, there is no patrol and monitoring anymore, but they are wrong. We still are patrol and monitoring in the field.
That's a great segue that you mentioned the Marine Patrol. Let's talk about Javan rhinos for a little bit. Can you tell us a little bit about more about them?
Oh yeah, there's like I said about the Marine Patrol that we just recently we create with the government of Indonesia, with the Yayasan Badak Indonesia, and then support by International Rhino Foundation. We create the two unit of the Marine Patrol in Ujung Kulon National Park. As you know, the Ujung Kulon National Park is the last habitat for the Javan rhino, one of the species of the rhino, the one and only Javan the species only in one place. It's in Ujung Kulon. So IRF, Yayasan Badak Indonesia, dan government of Indonesia pay attention very high for protect this species, because the Javan rhino is one of the more rarest animal in the world. The population not more than 72 individual, and the one and only, because the subspecies, the Javan rhino, it was in Vietnam, but it was extinct 2011 in Vietnam. So Ujung Kulon is the last one. And then the typical the habitat of Ujung Kulon National Park surrounded by ocean. So far that we have created the Rhino Protection Unit for the terrestrial since 1998, and then we try to create now the RPU for the marine patrol, because we realize that the terrestrial is safe, but that the people from the ocean try to come to the Ujung Kulon National Park from the ocean. This is one of the background why we try to create the marine patrol.
So, as Inov, you mentioned, there are 5 terrestrial patrols since 1998, and then the Marine Patrol launched at the beginning of this year.
Mm-hmm.
And the park does sit along the ocean, so that Marine Patrol has already been very, very active. um, would you like to share a story of some of the activity that they've had already and some of the success that they've had?
Yeah, this the Marine Patrol. They actually this launched to this early this year, and then every year now that many illegal activity from the ocean they can hold, they can stop from the ocean right now, and then this is also, there's a good impact for the habitat in terrestrial for the Javan rhino. As you know that we we guess that a poacher now try to come to the location of the Ujung National Park from the ocean, and then yeah, there's a significant impact with the marine patrol that we have right now.
Yes, and they've actually already made some apprehensions since starting at the beginning of the year, so that's wonderful. Um, the Javan rhino, the population has been slowly recovering. As you mentioned, it is still critically endangered, and it's at 72. But there's been some steps taken in addition to protecting as far as habitat. For example, the removal of the oranga palm from certain areas. Could you talk to us about some of those other activities that are going on, and maybe tell us what kind of hope do you see for the Javan rhino in the future?
Well, that's true. Talk about the population of the Javan rhino, probably below 2000, or let's say until 2015, from the 1970 until 2015, the population of the Javan rhino, we can say the stagnant. There's a 50 to 60 individual. But now there's with a good attention from the government of Indonesia, and then support from the international community through International Rhino Foundation, of course, and then also from the YASAN Indonesia, collaboration among this stakeholder can increase the population slowly, the population of the Javan rhino. And then last year, this is the new record, the population that above 70 individual. This is because of the hard work from all the stakeholder. For example, like the removal of Aringa palm. This is one of the invasive species that occupied of the habitat of Javan rhino, and then the government Indonesia, Yayasan Badak Indonesia, and NIRF tried to control. We tried to cut the Aringa palm, and then give and bring the new habitat for Javan rhino, and provide them the good habitat, the suitable habitat for them, and then give more food, and then this population is slowly increased. So we can say that the significant impact for the habitat management for the Javan rhino is work. And then during the control of the Aringa palm, we also involve a lot of local people to do control the Aringa palm, and then we also give them the alternative livelihood as well. So this is also the good program, the win-win solution for community, and then also for the Javan rhino. And as you know, this information, since the Rhino Protection Unit established, there is no more poaching for the Javan rhino. So people are very proud with the Javan rhino, because they know the significant value for the Javan rhino for their life. And then
Inov, if you don't mind, I'm going to ask you a couple questions here from one of our attendees that's watching this here in Zoom. He
sure,
asks, is it possible to visit the national park where the Javan rhinos are?
sure. That actually this Ujung Kulon National Park. This is one of the the national park. This is open for public. And then the Ujung Kulon National Park, you can go, and then the Ujung Kulon National Park office is open for all the people, for the tourism, for the people, and then they have like administration to go there. And then if you are lucky, that you can see the rarest animal there is Japan rhino. But you to take off like a video or photo, you have like a special permission. But there's a regulation. The government Indonesia provide the rules for the people if they want to come to the national park. Yes, I think that they can do.
Thank you. And definitely when we all get back traveling, um,
Yes, yes, of
definitely
course.
get out there and support
Yeah,
the areas where you can visit. That'll help the parks and the reserves and all the other places. Uh, let's move to Sumatra, Inov. The
yeah,
Sumatran rhino, also critically endangered. What are
it
some of the
is.
steps being taken to ensure its survival?
Well, talk about the Sumatran rhino. So to compare with the Javan rhino, actually this is the situation of the Sumatran rhino is more critical than Javan rhino. Even though the last the last prediction, assuming from the all stakeholder, mentioned that population of the Sumatran rhino, the 80 individual left, but this population, separate each other. Not like a Javan rhino, only one location, the 72 individual. Meanwhile, the Sumatran rhino, there's a separated only 4 location rhino, and only in Indonesia, and only in Indonesia. Uh, in Loser National Park, in the northern Sumatra, and then in Waikambas National Park, Bibis National Park, and then very tiny population in Kalimantan right now. So the government Indonesia, and then support by the international community with the IUCN, we have created the call that the program, the Sumatran Rhino Rescue Project. Actually, this is under the IUCN, and then support by 4 big NGO like IRF, NAGEO, and then Global Wildlife Conservation, and then WWF International, and then IUCN to support the government of Indonesia to do they call the Sumatran Rhino Rescue Project. That what we will do. So all the habitat, all the location who has the rhino, Sumatran rhino right now, we try to identify that how many population left. So from the PVA, population viable analysis, all the population under the 15 individual, we will try to consolidate. We will try to capture, and then we will bring to the secure habitat. As you know that we have had the Sumatran Rhino Sanctuary, the first Sumatran Rhino Sanctuary in Waikambas that we built this 1998. And this is one like a model. There's a model that we try to build something like this one, copy paste in the northern Sumatra, and then also now in the Kalimantan. So all the population, we try to bring it, consolidate, breed them, and then hopefully later on, if they can produce a lot of baby, grow the population, we will release them back to the to the habitat. Hopefully, this is one of the way that we can all the extension, we can increase the population of the Sumatran rhino. For example, the Sumatran Rhino Sanctuary, now that we have the 7 rhino, we have been success to produce 2 baby of rhino. So back what I have mentioned, that this is very critical. Support from all the people, to the government Indonesia and the local NGO, the YABI, from the international community is very, very, very significant to them to protect this animal, because we have to act now to protect them.
I'm glad you mentioned it is a very collaborative effort with the Indonesian government setting the plan, and a lot of NGOs working together on different strategies. And let me also extend my thank you to our on-the-ground partner in Indonesia, YABI, who does implement the programs that happen both in Sumatra and Java for protection and breeding and all the other types of activities that are going on to protect and save these rhinos. I have a couple questions that I'd like to get to you from the audience here. First up, so the Sumatran rhino is more critically endangered than the Javan because they are spread out on Sumatra rather than in one place like the Javan. Could you clarify that?
Yes. This why that I have tried some more critical. For example, in Kalimantan, for example, right now, the subspecies of the Sumatran rhino, probably only maximum only 3 individual in one pocket, in one location. And while in BBS, less than, let's say, probably some people mention less than 10 individual, but some people mention also only 2 or 3 individual left. So the chance to meet each other, to breed, to produce a more baby, this is a very, very, very difficult. And while the Sumatran rhino, the same like the Javan rhino, they're solitary animal. To meet each other, to breed each other, this is not easy. So separate location, and then the individual from the 80 individual, compare with the one population 72, but they can meet each other with the same time, make the level of the critical between Sumatran and Javan rhino. We can say that Sumatran is more critical than the Javan rhino, in my opinion. So we haven't talked about the breeding depression, for example. Probably the 10 individual left, for example, in one pocket in Sumatra, for example, in Waikambas, for example. If they are coming from the one tree, mother can breed with son or something like that. Father can breed with the daughter or something. It can make inbreeding depression for this species. And then, yeah, I think that this is not good for the future for the Sumatran rhino. That's why the Sumatran rhino more critical than the Javan rhino.
Yeah, so the challenge is that isolation. It's also important to note
That's true.
It's very
The
difficult to actually see a wild Sumatran rhino in the wild.
It is.
It's very difficult. So it's a follow-up question here from the audience that makes a lot of sense. How will the Sumatran rhinos be tracked and brought back to the sanctuary?
Well, now with the Sumatran Rhino Sanctuary, the Sumatran Rhino Rescue Project, this is a collaboration among all the stakeholders and led by the government of Indonesia. We try to detect all the track of the Sumatran rhino that nowadays, and then all the our partner, implementing partner try to work very hard to detect of the track, and then later on they try to select the individual, the the good individual to bring to the sanctuary. What we have to do, we will try to make, we have to capture them. This is probably some people think that the capture the Sumatran rhino the same that with the white rhino or the African rhino. This is very different because the solitary animal we have after the detect the track, we try to set up, we call the pitfall trap, and then and after that the rhino will go to the pit trap. If we can if we can succeed to bring them, and then bring them to the sanctuary that we are preparing already. For example, in Waikambas, we have already the sanctuary, and then in Aceh, our implementing partner, they call the FKL, now the preparing the copy paste of the sanctuary now in the location of the Aceh as well. Hopefully that all the rhino that we can capture, they can breed, and when we can select all the rhino that we capture later on. Hopefully this is one of the strategy to increase of the population of the Sumatran rhino. Something like that, Chris.
Excellent. Thank you for answering that. And that kind of leads us to another question. What age do Sumatran rhinos come of age? And will Ratu's children be able to find mates soon?
Oh, do you mean Ratu has
And I think,
two children, right? There's Andatu and
yes,
Delilah.
so Delilah and Undatu. And if you'd like, you could talk about Delilah. She's moved into a new home. So.
That's true. That well, this is Ratu. Ratu has produced two baby, two baby Sumatran rhino. The first, it was born the June 2012, and then the Lila 4 years afterward. This is 2016. So, like Andatu, they say 8 years old right now, and then for the Sumatran rhino, from the literature, then from the experience that we have, he started to go be mature, and then usually as the our experience with the andalas that we brought from America to Indonesia, the Sumatran rhino in America back home, he was ready to breed with the his couple and with Ratu at the time more than 10 or 11 years. So for Andatu, probably he need to wait 2 years more, and hopefully he can get the couple for him, because the female that we have now in the sanctuary is the females are very limited. He cannot breed with his mother. So we have another female right now, the color rosa, probably one of the change for him to breed or with the old rhino that we have, Bina. And then hopefully later on with the Sumatran Rhino Rescue Project, if we can capture the new rhino, the new female, the fresh blood, and that too can breed with her, something like that one. Meanwhile, his sister, Delilah, she just separate from her mother early this year. After two and a half 2.5 years, almost closer 3 years together with her mom. So now that her mom feel free to breed again, and then hopefully soon we can get the new baby, because her mom focused to breed without accompany Delilah anymore. So Delilah, she has a new paddock right now, and then she is solitary. Hopefully, she can learn to how to survive in the wild. And mostly the Sumatran rhino, the female one, ready to breed 8 years or 9 years for, for breeding, something like that, Chris.
Yeah, so we're a few years away for Andatu
Yes,
and Delilah. In
yes,
fact, Delilah's birthday is next week. It's on May 12th. She'll be turning 4.
exactly.
So we'll all wish her a happy birthday next week. And
Yep.
that leads me to ask you, how are the rhinos doing at SRS, and how are the staff doing as well?
Well, now in the overall, all the rhino in at the SRS is a healthy condition right now. We have the 7 rhino. Uh, we have 3 female, and they're all related. We have Andalas and Harry and Harapan from they are born in US, and then back home few 2 years ago, and then we have Andatu, and then all related 3 male that we have, and then we have 4 female. Uh, we have Ratu, Delilah, Rosa, and then we have the oldest female rhino at the SRS. Probably the age we can predict that close to 40 years old. The 40 years old that we capture this. We call her Dina, but she's still healthy. She's still have the ovulation. Then we hope that she can produce at least one baby from, if not from the natural breeding, we can use the artificial insemination or something like that one. And then yeah, the condition right now, there's all the rhino is healthy. And then during the COVID-19, the Sumatran Rhino Sanctuary that we have close to the public. Yeah, actually there's a close to the public, but usually some people for the research still allowed to come. But now that totally closed, we can say the lockdown for the SRS. And then all the people working with the SRS right now, they have to follow the new rules, the new SOP that we try to adopt from many input from the IRF, from zoos, from the ranger protocol, how to precaution of the COVID-19. For example, now all the people have to hand wash before and after uh, handle the rhino, and then physical distancing. They have to wear the mask. And then recently, we support them to create like a disinfectant, disinfectant for the car, the car or the people come to the SRS to get the insect in this disinfectant first. So we try to make all the safe. We don't want to the COVID-19 infect the our people there, and also infect eventually affect to the rhino. We don't know, because as the case in the Bronx Zoo, that one of the tiger effect of the COVID as well. So we try to protect very strict this protocol for the people, of course, and then for the rhino as well. So
So all precautions
support,
are
yes,
being
the
taken
precaution.
to protect those rhinos, and as you mentioned, they are all very
That's
healthy
true.
right now. So it's always good news, and we like to share that. We give you field updates in our newsletter, so if you haven't already, you can sign up on our website, rhinos.org, the newsletter, and we'll give you field updates as well as updates from the SRS on a regular basis as well. We're we're going to tell a couple more rhino stories, and including Bina's, which is a wonderful story because she walked out of the she walked out of the jungle and into a village, and
Yes.
that's how it all started, you know. So it's a great story. Inov, I don't know if you know this answer, and if you don't, it's fine. I don't actually know it. Why are Sumatran rhinos hairy? Does it protect them against pests? Oh, I'm getting
Pardon me, would
dry
you
here.
repeat again?
Why are Sumatran rhinos hairy? Why do they have so much hair? They're the hairiest of all the rhinos. Does it protect them against pests like ticks and flies and things like that?
Well, that's true that the compare with all the rhino that the left, the 5 species of the rhino in the world right now, the hairy rhino is only for the Sumatran rhino. From my knowledge, and then from all the literature, the Sumatran rhino, the evolution of the Sumatran rhino is directly from the woolly rhino, without that's from the hairy rhino, and then that's why that Sumatran rhino we call the living what's it called, the living
Living fossil.
fossil, the living fossil of the rhino right now. And then if you say the hairy protect the from the tick or something like that, in my opinion, this is not, because we found there's a lot of tick, and then and mosquito into the body of the Sumatran rhino, but uh, they can one of the strategy for the Sumatran rhino to protect them from the tick and then also the mosquito with the wallow. So the conclusion of the hairy, probably I'm wrong. This is not to the protect them for the tick or for this, but the, in my opinion, that this is more attract more tick, and the mosquito come to the body. But Sumatran
Could
rhino, they are wallowing every day.
yeah, could be. We'll have to confirm that up. We'll have to
That's true. That's true.
ask Dr. Roth that question next time we
Doctor of the
have
question and the people
her
there.
on. So,
That's
uh,
true.
want to thank the audience for some great questions today. And Inov, thank you so much for joining us and for giving us this update. On
Thank you.
behalf of Team Rhino, please extend our appreciation and thanks to all of the Rhino Protection Units and National Park officials that are working hard to protect rhinos during this time and at all times. To learn more about the Javan and Sumatran rhinos, you can visit IRF's website at rhinos.org. This was our last live talk for the day. Thank you so much for joining us throughout the day. We hope you had a very enjoyable Cinco de Rhino. Thank you for coming together with us. And thank you for all your support. We have one more thing for you. It's a special good night. It'll be on Facebook. It is coming up at 11 a.m. Eastern. Tune into that video. We say goodnight with a lullaby set to some of our favorite rhino pictures. Once again, thank you all that donated today. You're providing emergency support through the Reserve Relief Fund, and that will go to support salaries and health and safety equipment for the men and women that protect rhinos. Thank you again. We hope you had a great Cinco de Rhino, and we'll say goodnight to all of you in just a little bit. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Before I jump off, and I know people can probably still hear me, from Joe
Mm-hmm.
Hauser, our buddy Joe.
Yeah, my man.
He says, hey, Selamat Pagi. Uh,
Pagi.
Pagi, sorry. I'm working on my Indonesian. Happy Cinco de Rhino. So
Yes.
that's a great way to end this video. Happy Cinco de Rhino, everybody. Good night.
Yep.
Good morning,
Good
Inov. Good
night.
night, everybody else.